Welcome to the Movie Tweaker episode 12. We haven't been on about a couple weeks, took a little break, a little hiatus, but we're back. People have been asking for it, and here it is. We're going to be talking about Arrow Season 4 finale, The Flash Season 2 finale, and Gotham Season 2 finale, like a discussion and basically a review. Alright, and my co-host, how's it going, Daniel Rodriguez?
It's going great. Good to be back.
All right, glad to have you, buddy. And Frozen Magma, how's it going, Frozen Magma?
Thanks for having me.
Oh, for any time, man. All right, I guess we'll kick it off with Arrow. When it comes to Arrow, I think it's a fantastic show. It's one of my favorites out of the three. I think Arrow, well, my favorite out of the three until season four's ending. I don't know. Just in general, what's your thoughts of season 4 in general? Daniel.
Uh, I think parts of it were mediocre. The whole season. You had some good moments with Black Canary, and Damien Dark was a pretty good villain. The finale was disappointing to me, certain ways. It had a few good moments. Season 4 had some great appearances like Constantine in the beginning. It started off strong in a way, and then it kind of just fizzled out in certain episodes. Like where I would say even Flash is better. Like, again, Green Arrow is my favorite DC hero, and I loved Season 1, I loved Season 2, Season 3 was okay, and Season 4, it kind of, the writer, I don't like the writer Mark Guggenheim. I think what he's turned it into and what he's trying to do with the show is just, I'm not digging where they're going with where Gotham's going, where Flash is going, all that. Where Arrow used to be one of my favorite shows, and now it's just one of those shows that I watch weekly that I don't really anticipate anymore.
Okay, I can respect that. What about you, Frozen Magma? Your thoughts of Arrow season 4 just in general?
I really liked it. It wouldn't be my favorite season, but I think that it was a lot of setups for the next installments. Obviously, it was setting up for Legends of Tomorrow. It was setting up for other shows. The crossovers is big out there. Setting up for a villain. Setting up to deal with magic on the show for the first time. I really thought that even though the finale wasn't that great, it's a lot of setups. Like, everybody wants to know what's going to happen in season 5.
All right, is that it?
Yeah.
All right, my opinion about season 4, I'm more leaning towards with Daniel on this one. I respect everybody's opinion, but I think it started out great and it fizzled out at the end. That's the best way to describe it. I thought Damien Dark was a fantastic villain until the end. I think after where it fizzled out for me was like after Laurel died. That's where it kind of went. I was like, it was like that next episode. It started just completely die out for me. I don't know. But that's that. But overall, I did like this season till the end. Arrow to me, I love. I love this show. I love season 1, 2, and 3. I'm a fan of season 3, and a lot of people don't like season 3. They, basically, said it was the worst season. Now, I wonder if they're going to say this is the worst season. Because I've watched some reviews and most people didn't like this finale. I don't know. But basically, when it comes to Arrow, I want to ask some questions. Malcolm Merlyn, what side is he on? Let's figure this out. Like, basically, should they just stop this with this back and forth with Malcolm Merlyn? Daniel.
Yeah, they should stop probably around season, like the whole Ra's al Ghul when they started it with Malcolm and all that. That lasted a few episodes. I think, I like the actor John Barrowman. He is a good actor. But they should just kill off Malcolm, because from going to Dark Side to saving Thea, and then he turns on Thea again, it's just sort of a bland storyline already where it doesn't interest me.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Frozen Magma? When it comes to Malcolm Merlin, which side is he on? You know, it's very confusing. He's back and forth. What's your overall thoughts of the whole Malcolm Merlin thing when it comes to Arrow?
I think that they should just get rid of him. Like,
Mhm.
really, what is he doing? He's just there, showing up out of nowhere. Like, you see something happen, and then he's like hiding in the shadows, and he just comes out of nowhere. Like, there's some points where he's good, and there's some times where I'm like, why is he here?
Mhm.
I feel like he's just there because Thea is there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, the first season, Malcolm Merlin was cool. I have no problems with the first season, but after that, he's like, he's helping Arrow, then he's against Arrow. I was like, come on, all right, choose a side or get the hell off the show. I don't think he's a bad character. I just don't think they know what to do with him. If that makes sense. It's just bad writing. That's all that boils down to. Another question I want to ask. A lot of people. This has to do with Flash too, in a way. Will Laurel come back? Because of what happened in Flash with him going back and saving his mother in time and changing events. Will they do? Will basically that bring Laurel back? Will they? Will they even do that? Will the time? Well, let's just ask that question right here in general. Do you see Laurel coming back, Daniel?
No, I don't see like Earth One Laurel coming back with what Flash did and all that. I feel like Black Siren in season 2 could come back, like the Earth 2 version of her. But I don't feel like they'll bring back Earth 1. I think that's already done there.
Okay. What about you, Frozen?
I don't think they're gonna bring her back with the fact that they said that they're not bringing her back. And when they don't bring back characters unless it's like through Earth 2. And the only way I can see them using Earth 2, that won't be Laurel. Because Earth 2, they're completely opposites of what they are on Earth 1. If they put Laurel on there, she won't be Laurel. She'll be somebody completely different. She's a completely different character. She's a full metahuman. Like,
Well, I mean, you gotta look at this. Like Flash when he goes back in time in that Earth. The Earth he went back in. Where did he go? Yeah, he went back in time to save his mother. Could that affect? There has been this question has been brought up. I saw on other videos and stuff too. Um, I don't know. A lot of people are upset because Laurel in the comics is with the Green Arrow, and they don't like what is going on here. So they have done fan services, like the whole Overwatch thing. They have done fan services. They do listen to the fans. So I don't know. I mean, that's definitely going to affect Flash. Him going back in time. That's going to affect Flash, but will it affect Arrow? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I could see it happening, in my opinion. But that's cool. I respect everybody's opinion on that. Um, Another one in Arrow. Who is the villain that we will possibly see in season 5? Daniel.
I'm not. I have no idea actually where they want to go with season 5 with the villain. Uh, Maybe it could be somebody from the flashbacks, like where Oliver's going to Russia. Maybe could be some sort of link there. I mean, Dark's gone. No, I heard it could be like a. I know there's a villain like named the quest. Sort of heard that is like question. He leaves question, and I like Riddler stuff, but like he's one of the most famous Arrow villains recently. But they didn't really tease a villain really for season 4. I think where they want to go. But I would have to say maybe with the flashbacks where they're going there, they could link it somehow there.
Okay, okay, okay. What about you, Frozen?
um, what I believe is I read numerous articles. They said that this villain will not be a metahuman, and he will not have magic powers. He would be basically kind of like a Batman-ish villain. So I don't know all the Arrow villains. I didn't read the comics, but I'm pretty sure if you just eliminate them, like it would probably be one of them. And
Okay,
we know
somebody.
he's going to Russia for the flashbacks, probably to see that girl's mom that he killed in the flashbacks, which is probably how he becomes the leader of that Russian gang, like he talked about, because he was a Russian gang leader in season 2, and
Yeah.
we never really see how he was able to become a Russian gang leader. And I'm pretty sure I think season 5 will be the last season with flashbacks.
Yeah, oh, well, we'll get in that in just a second. That's definitely something. I want to talk about too with this whole season. Um, I'm with it's kind of a hard question because we don't know, but I think something probably from him going to Russia, like Frozen said, that's possibly where it could come from. Maybe they might do something with Malcolm Merlin. I mean, I hope he isn't another villain again. I could see that happening again one time. Maybe he turns on him for the last time and they kill him off the show. Who knows? I would love to see Deathstroke back, but that ain't gonna happen. Supposedly, they already, I guess, confirmed he ain't coming back unless something happens. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to see what you guys thought because I'm kind of in mystery of that too. Who it could be? It's most likely somebody from Batman's villains or something. But we'll have to wait and see on that. And also, thank you, Joni, for watching the show. I really do appreciate it. I know you and Frozen don't get along. Uh, but yeah, going back to the whole thing, and like you just brought up now, this is a big thing with Arrow that really fucking annoys me. I didn't mind it so much in the earlier seasons because you're trying to figure out what goes on with the island and all that nonsense, but the flashbacks this season were very poor, very, very poor, very poorly done. It was about the whole thing on the island with the magical powers and they killed the girl's brother, blah, 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 blah. Well, the flashbacks, are they supposed to end soon? And do you care for the flashbacks, Daniel?
Yeah, well, they're supposed to end around season 5 since he was on the island for 5 years, so that should end there. But yeah, they should have finished the. I mean, I don't care for the flashbacks. Maybe in other seasons I did, maybe season 2, season 1, but for this, they could have got that whole, like, they dragged out that whole flashback for 23 episodes when they could have maybe have done it in 10 episodes, 11 episodes, and then moved to Russia or something, move the story along. But I don't care. I think what the whole girl and the Vlad's brother, and it was just poorly done, like you said, of how, again, it dragged on, and it interferes. Like, there were a few episodes where they didn't show flashbacks, actually. Like, maybe episode 19 and 20, they didn't show no flashbacks. That's the way they show flashbacks and just give us the story in present day.
Do you feel it takes away from the show also, these flashbacks?
Yeah, like it interferes. Really awesome scene going on in Arrow in the present day, and then it transitions to flashback, and then like it shows a similar object or something, like a similar shape. I'm just tired of it. I mean, I hope season 5 will be the last flashbacks, and then no more.
All right, I can respect that. What about you, Frozen? What do you feel about these flashbacks, and have you had enough with them? And do you think they might end at season 5? And also, are they kind of basically killing the show in a way, like making the show less exciting at times, like you're here, like Daniel said, here you are at a great part, there's stuff going on, and then all of a sudden they cut to this boring ass flashback that I don't even want to see.
I think they were okay. Like season one they were long, so I really didn't care for them. But I like some of the backstory, like how you can see how John Constantine gave him that tattoo. Like story stuff that transfers over to like the current day. Like how we found out about Diggle's brother, like Diggle's past. Diggle's past is very interesting.
Yeah,
Like
it's easy. It's good when they do it on other people. I think it is needed for like people. I love when they did I don't know if that happened this season, but I can't remember exactly what season it was where they did the flashback of Deadshot. I like that. You know, but certain flashbacks with Oliver on the island, it's getting old. It is. I mean, I don't know. I just hope they end. But that's cool. Any more on that, Frozen?
no, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure they're gonna end this season.
All right. Next one I want to talk about with Arrow is Team Arrow. I guess they're back together. In this finale, they all went pretty much their separate ways. Diggle, he's going off somewhere in the. Well, one thing I didn't understand about the whole Diggle thing, here he is dressed in his military outfit, and he's leaving his newborn and his wife, and he's gonna go find himself. Okay, so he's taken off. He is taken off. It's really just Oliver's actually, he's gonna he's gonna become governor, or mayor or something. My bad. But basically, the new team has split. So they're going back to the original team, but besides Diggle came back to find himself. So what's your thoughts on that, Daniel?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. I was alright with Thea leaving, honestly. I was like, alright, that's good. I mean, when Felicity said the original, like, OGs, basically Felicity, Diggle, and Arrow, or Oliver, that's how it all started. I thought that would have been awesome just to have them three back and have no other person, but then Diggle left, and Felicity stayed, which angry where I was like, I'm done with this show, which of course I'm not. I'll watch it to the very end. But, since it doesn't return until 6 more months or whenever it returns in October, wouldn't it work out like this where it doesn't pick up right where it left off and it's been like 6 months or something in the storyline and then they come back or something like that? Like, I mean, I know some shows do that where it's real time, 6 months pass by, and then like this is Marvel's the Marvel movies, like Age of Ultron, and then a year later it's Civil War or something like in real time. So wouldn't they be back once the premiere comes back or something? Maybe they've done their break already. Good, but if they end up like picking up right where they start off, and again, like I don't know, Diggle was in his military uniform. I don't even know if he's going back to do service or I don't know where he's going.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
That was weird. I don't know. So what do you like? In Daniel, do you like it when there's like a big group of them, or do you like when it's just regular, like original Team Arrow?
Yeah, I mean, I would like it more if Felicity wasn't there and she would just have died. But yeah, I mean, I would say it's better with a team. It's that way.
Okay.
Without Felicity.
All right, I can respect that. What about you, Frozen? What's the thing with the original members now of Team Arrow versus the whole, group of them?
I don't really know what they're doing, but I think the team is very necessary. The team is what held the city together. Like when Ra's al Ghul stabbed Oliver when he was dead, they were the ones that protected the city while he was gone. So you need the team. Like even without Laurel, we still don't know what happened to Laurel, what she said to him in that hospital room, which still needs to be clarified. What she said to him. We still don't know who's going to be on the team. Like they have so many people they can pick. Like they have Vixen, they have Constantine. I don't know if they're going to try to get the rights to put him on the show. You have that other girl dressing up as the Black Canary. You have the Huntress. They have plenty of options to have like more people on the team. They might even bring Roy back. You never know. But like the team, I think it's just going to come back. But we're probably just going to see a whole new team as well.
All right. All right. Yeah, I could respect that. When it comes, for me, I like it either way. It don't really matter if it's just Diggle, Felicity, and the Green Arrow, or it's a group of them. Because I was hoping when Laurel died, I was hoping they would bring Ra's al Ghul's daughter in, and she would fill in, or something like that, or maybe something like that along the lines of that. I hope she becomes that's a whole other discussion, but I hope she would become a part of the show or something like that. But I mean, to me, either way, it's good. I just, hope they do something that is enjoyable. I guess you'd say. Like I want to see. I don't want people coming back and leaving, and just have a group. That's basically me. So other than that, with Arrow, Laurel getting killed. All right. Well, do you think this was a good decision for the show and everything? Basically, do you think it was? Did you not like this? Did you like this? Your thoughts, Daniel?
No, I didn't like it. I think the person that should have been dead was Felicity instead of Laurel. Laurel was just, I finally was getting more into her character within season 4, because I did the past year say she was annoying. Her character. You know, it was just getting annoying, and then she became like district attorney or, you know, helping that, and I don't know. I just got more into Black Canary, and that was when it was a full team. You had Arsenal, or Thea, you had Green Arrow, and you had Black Canary, and it was better that way. But just I think they killed her off maybe a little bit too soon. Like, again, people are saying, you know, Black Canary and Green Arrow, you know, just like the comics, should get to be together and everything, but I guess they're not going to do that after all. But wrong move. They should have kept her or else killed Thea, or, well, they already killed Thea before. Maybe they should have just killed off Felicity or Diggle. Maybe those two.
Yeah, I mean, I like Diggle, but I would rather had him killed off than Laurel. I thought Laurel was a bad move, in my opinion. But what about you, Frozen, on that?
I didn't like that they killed Laurel. She was probably my favorite character. She had the most character development. She was like, you know, she was having at a law firm. She had a drug problem. She became a struggling vigilante, and then they finally started training her. They really did a good job, like, growing her to be the Black Canary, and then they just kill her off. But I see the reason why they had to kill her off was because of her dad, how he didn't own up to it. You know, he said he was going to. Damien Dark said he was going to kill his daughter, and he did. He kept his word, and he said he was going to kill her. I just feel like they're doing a little too much. They're killing characters, bringing characters back. They killed Sarah 2 times. They brought her back. You know, they killed her. They killed Thea. Like when they kill a character, it should stay dead. But you know, Laurel, I would like to see her come back, but not like that Laurel. Like, they do Earth 2. They would really have to really convince me to be like this has to be a different Laurel. She can't act like how she was. And, you know, as you said, we still don't know what she said in that hospital room, which is probably the biggest mystery. And they won't reveal that till season 5.
Okay. All right. Hold on, I was just fixing something for this podcast because people, Joni complained that, you know, basically that he don't like spoilers. But, you know, I mean, let's be honest, guys. Well, I mean, I'm just saying in general. You know, when you're talking about a review or something along the lines of something like this, there's going to be spoilers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's hard not to. I don't see how I could do this podcast with this and not have spoilers. I don't think it'd be interesting. Would you guys agree?
Well, obviously,
I agree.
Arrow's been gone for like since last week. If you didn't watch by now, I don't know what you've been doing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how could you do a show? I mean, I'm just saying in general. I'm sorry for the people that don't want to be spoiled about this, that haven't seen it. But this is, I should have put it in the title. My bad. I just put it in the title now. But I don't see how we would talk about this, or even if we did a podcast on Civil War or Batman vs Superman movie. How do you? I mean, you can do it at first without spoilers, but when you want to get into the nitty gritty, there's gonna be spoilers. I mean, that's all there is to it. I can, with Arrow, it would be boring to sit here and talk about a discussion without, you know, spoilers. But I just want to address that. Sorry for people that are watching it right now and didn't know this is a spoilers cast. I would have thought you would assume that by me saying discussion. I put reviews now, but I did put the spoilers, so it is what it is. Alright, so yeah, with Laurel dying, I thought it was a letdown because I was just basically getting used to Laurel. It took me a long time to get used to Laurel as a superhero. Laurel as Laurel in the show, you know, Oliver's past girlfriend, she's a district attorney, you know, stuff like that. I seen that. But at first it was a little hard for me to buy her turning into the Black Canary. But I got used to it, you know, and then they kill her off. So I don't know. I'm with Daniel on that too. I think it should have been Diggle. Felicity don't bother me as much as everybody else, but I would have thought it would have been her, Felicity, or Diggle should have been killed off. You know, killing Thea again, she's already been brought back from the dead, and just killing her again, it's kind of like, you know, like why didn't they kill her in the first place? But that's my opinion on that. It was a bad move for the show. It was a bad move. And that's where the show for this season dropped down for me. That's where there was like after that episode, it was like they had it all up here and then it went right down here very fast. Um, so basically, let's see what else I got for Arrow. The Green Arrow killing Damien Dark. Your thoughts and opinion, Daniel.
What was that again about Amy Dark?
The Green Arrow basically killing Damien Dark. What's your thoughts about him actually killing him?
It was. I mean, it wasn't much as a letdown as when Ra's al Ghul versus Arrow, and he ended up killing Ra's al Ghul like that. Because that was sort of a quick fight. For this, I don't know how. I guess since he had a lot of hope, he got that magic back, whatever, because he said Felicity, whatever. I guess since the city rose, I thought that was people. I know they're trying to help their city and everything, but he could literally just kill them instantly in a sort of way. So I don't know why they do that. And it was weird too. In Dark, they had that moment where his people come in and they run to each other and clash. And I'm assuming, why don't they have guns? Because they had guns the whole season. They don't just shoot the people. I don't know why they just don't do that. But I don't know. I don't know how I want to feel, because it's that sort of he stabbed him wherever in the chest and all that, and then he says his cliched villain last words. When he said, like, you're not going to kill me or whatever, and then he mentioned Deathstroke, which was cool that he mentioned Slade Wilson. But I rather would have had them maybe have Damien Dark locked up in some special place and have him there. Like, I rather would have had Damien Dark live, because I don't even know what happened to his daughter either. They never explained whatever's going to happen to his daughter.
Like, you make a great point. He kills Damien Dark, leaves her fatherless and motherless, and they're supposed to be a superhero, so he should have thought about that decision. That's a great point, Daniel. Very good.
Thanks.
Very good point. And I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Yeah, but they Slade Wilson, I'm assuming he's still locked up. They could have just kept Damien Dark, because that guy is a real good actor. I can't say his last name right, but I think it's like Neil McDonough. They could have saved him, because he's very he hard to get him on a TV show sometimes. So he was a letdown, like he fizzled out towards the end, but he was so powerful. He had tens of thousands of souls in him, and then whatever magic he got, Arrow, and just defeated him like that. I thought that was kind of I don't know, like. It was a little letdown. I mean, it was still an okay fight. There were some cool moments in there, but it was just still a little letdown. And going back real quick to the earlier question of the season 5 villain, we still don't know what happened to Anarchy when he escaped when Dark's wife died. I think that guy could end up being the villain for season 5, part of it, also.
Yeah. Well. I mean, that's another thing that the villain could. I don't know if Anarchy could be a villain for the whole season, but I mean, he's not a bad villain. I like him. But very. Yep, I totally agree with everything you said. Frozen. When it comes to the whole thing with the Green Arrow killing Damien Dark, did you like that? Even too, like. What does this make Oliver? Does this make it okay for him to kill again? See, that's another weird thing. He became the Green Arrow not to kill people. That's what their problem was with him before. He was killing people, and the Green Arrow was supposed to be something different. Now he's just going back to the hood, like, kind of in a way. Like his mottos. Like, what's your thoughts?
I believe he was just doing that, like, eventually, because they said that you can't get rid of the darkness on him anyway. So he had to stop him. He was killing tons and tons of people. I think that was the only way to stop him. And he was using magic that he dealt with before that was dangerous. And you seen it, even if they locked him up in prison, he still was able to get what he wanted. It was I thought it was a pretty good fight. I still don't understand how he was able to kill that guy at the computer from far, far away. He has that much power to do that, but he can't He didn't have enough power to fend off that many people in a fight. People start throwing cans at him, and he's like suddenly weak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, he had the funny thing is, he had the power of all them people that he killed in that area with a nuke, and one of the nukes did get through. But these people in the town, there wasn't as many as in that city they killed, but they had enough strength to give him enough hope and strength to give him to fight Damien Dark. But yeah, I agree. I agree totally. With me, with the whole killing Damien Dark thing, I liked it and I didn't like it because the reason I didn't mind it, they kind of ruined Damien Dark's character a little bit at the end, but at the same time, he was a great character. I'm with Daniel. I have to agree with Daniel on this. I wish they would have locked him up somewhere and maybe saved him to get out later because he was a good villain. I like Damien Dark. I thought he was pretty good. But they killed him, and that's pretty much that. Now it'll be interesting to see how Oliver takes that from there. Is he going to be killing people again, or is it going to be just that one time? Time will tell. Well, that's when we'll find out next future episodes. Um, Basically, another thing I want to ask, which you already asked about the flashbacks. Basically, just give me, overall, like this season, your honest review about it. Like, what would you score this season if you had to score it? Like, of Arrow, Daniel.
It was a all right season. Like I said, I guess I would call it mediocre. Be the one word. Season 1 good, season 2 great, season 3 okay, and this one's sort of just that mediocre with it. From the beginning, of course, with him, Felicity and Oliver, being a couple, and then they go back to Star City and all that stuff go down. I did like the transition to Green Arrow and his costume and everything. That was great stuff. I still am not a big fan of Diggle's helmet, but I'm not a big fan of it, but it's watchable. It's not like I need it anymore, but that's still with Thea, the whole love interest with Thea. I think that's one of the problems where because her boyfriend died, Alex. Anarchy shocked him to death, which how many voltages he got. It was kind of like he died and then she's just cry a little bit and that's it. Like the character was sort of a useless sort of he was like a burden on the show or just weighing down the show. Again, Malcolm. Again, it's just like a mediocre season. I'm not really looking forward to next season as much as say The Flash or Gotham or even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. Like there's way more Legends of Tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that more than just what Arrow has. Arrow's sort of at the bottom for me right now. No, of course, season 1, season 2 will always be amazing. Season 3 was okay, but I don't, they did tone down the action a little bit. It was kind of cliched, same old boom boom hit sort of thing. The stunt doubles, you could easily tell the stunt doubles too. I mean, that last fight with Damien Dark when he started freaking doing a bunch of, that's not the actor, of course, but you could tell it's a stunt double. It's just cliched. It's a cliched show that's predictable, very predictable. Which it's sad that Arrow's becoming one of those shows like where Dexter was they're not the same shows, but Dexter was amazing the first 5 seasons, and then it just kills itself. Like it's just committing suicide basically, and what they're doing. They're forcing Felicity and the Elicity thing. Kill her off already. Like you have 90% of the fans out there saying kill her off, and yet you're still keeping her there.
I think to be fair, not to cut you off, I think she has some kind of tie with the show, like the producers, like she has a lot of airtime. She's a big part of that show, you can tell, and she might have some influence on one of the directors or whatever. She has some kind of big part in that show with the producers and everything. So that's maybe why she is a big part of that show.
Right.
But I totally agree. I mean, I don't hate Felicity, like I said, as much as other people, but I don't think she's bad. But I do think they kind of throw her in a lot when she's not needed.
Right.
But yeah, if you had to score the show, what would you score it from this? No, I'm saying this season, and from like a 1 to a 10.
Oh wow. Well, I'm gonna have to say like a six, like a 6.5 out of 10 for
Would
this
you
season.
say this is the worst season, or was this better than? I know you didn't like season 3. Was this worse than season 3?
No, I thought season 3 was okay, but uh, yeah, that's hard to say. There are some good moments. If they take out the flashbacks this season, it'd be a little bit better. Yeah, I'd say season 4 is better than season 3 a little bit. It's up there. Yeah.
Okay, okay. What about you, Frozen? Oh, well, so what was your score, Daniel? It was a 6.
6.5, just
Okay, okay,
6.5 out of 10.
okay. What about you, Frozen? What would you score? General rundown of the season, what you thought, and your score.
I thought it was a cool season. It was a little bit like not as dark as like the other seasons. Um, Aside from the whole Laurel thing, I really didn't like. I liked most of it. I just didn't like how they killed Laurel. I didn't like how like Thea's bloodlust suddenly went away. Like I think that's something that you can just cure. You know what I mean? Um, it was a cool season. I'll probably have to give it like maybe a 7.5.
Okay, okay. Was this your where do you put this in your order of seasons of Arrow? Like, is this your least favorite season?
My least favorite will probably be season one.
Okay, okay, all right. Um, my opinion about this season started out great, fizzled out, like Daniel said. It had some good parts in it, but it was like at the same time, it was a lot of episodes felt like filler to me, especially a lot of these flashbacks. It's just like filler, like not needed. Um, I didn't like that, once, like I said, you get used to Laurel and then they killed her off, and then like after Laurel died, the show just like it was like up here and it went right down there. It's like it just I don't know. In my opinion, I think this was the worst season out of all of them. I like it just in order. Well, my favorites season 2, then it goes 1, and then it goes 3, and then it goes this one. And I'm like Daniel. After that season finale, I'm looking forward to Arrow, but not as much like I was. You know what I'm saying? It's like not as much as I am other seasons that's going to start again. And it's a shame because Arrow. I really like Arrow, but I'm giving it. I'm not voting it out or nothing. This was just a bad ending. I think what could revive this show is if they would bring back Deathstroke and do him another season. That might bring it back onto a good level. But they got to figure out what they want to do with these characters. They got to stop running. It just seems like they're all over the place with the story writing, and it's really bad. But that's my. Oh, and if I have to score it, if I had to give this season a score, I would say I'd give it about a 7. That's what I'm giving it, a 7. And that's me being fair because I really should score it around a 6 or a 5. But I'm saying I did enjoy the season somewhat, and it wasn't terrible. It's like the thing that really bothered me is where it just fell off after Laurel. It was doing good and it fell off. And one thing I want to mention too before I end the whole Arrow discussion, what is going to happen with Captain Lance? Okay, he don't have both daughters now. Are they going to keep him on the show? Daniel.
They better. That's basically the only Lance on the show besides Sarah being on Legends of Tomorrow. Lance has gone through so much shit basically throughout the past 4 seasons. I love Captain Lance. He could be a dick at times, but he's a lovable dick, I guess you could say. I really wish I really like Felicity's mom, and then she ended up kicking the calculator out, which I started to enjoy Felicity's dad, where I thought he should stay and she should go. But yeah, I mean, like Diggle's leaving and Thea's leaving, I'm assuming Lance will be back. He'll come back into the city, and I don't know whether it'll be a series regular. I hope he will be, but if he just comes and visits every now and then that'll work too. But yeah, keep Lance on the show all the time.
Okay, okay, okay. What about you, Frozen? What do you feel about Lance? You think he should stay on the show since?
I think he should stay. He's a great character. He helps out Team Arrow a lot, and I lost train of thought. I think he should still be there. I don't want to see him leave. He needs to
Okay.
he needs to be there. He needs to be there to support. You know, I don't know if he's ever going to be a cop again, but I like to see where it definitely goes from there.
Okay. With me, I like Lance, but he could go and they could I could take him or leave him. That's how it is. I just feel like now you don't have maybe without him being he isn't the captain right now, right?
I'm not sure.
I don't. Yeah,
I
that's the
don't.
thing. I think he's not the captain or what. I think he basically. It's up to it's up to them if they're gonna make him captain again. He wrote that paper, and he was gonna lie, and then Felicity's mom said be truthful or she was gonna leave. So I don't know. We don't know if he's gonna be captain next season or what. But he's not a bad character. Like I said, I could take him or leave him. I just think I don't know if he's gonna have much of a need with no Laurel and no regular Canary. So I don't, or no Sarah. So I don't know, but hopefully they do something with him if they're going to keep him. But that's our discussion about Arrow. It does suck they lost. To me, it sucks that the hype died down. It was building up good. But we're gonna go into the Flash, something that was fucking awesome. The Flash was like really good, and what's crazy? At first, I didn't like the Flash as much as Arrow. Flash was one that just pushed Arrow to the side right now. So when it comes to the Flash, let's just do a general talk of this season. Daniel, what did you like about this season so far, and what didn't you like about it? What you liked and didn't?
Yeah, I loved a lot of this season from Jay Garrick, or from what we thought was Jay Garrick in the beginning, Teddy Sears. That was amazing. Zoom was an awesome character. I still love Reverse Flash a lot just because Tom Cavanaugh played Eobard Thawne and then he played fake Harrison Wells. And I love the Reverse Flash costume. But Zoom, I thought he was a very intense villain for this season, and definitely he was dark, and he killed all those cops in that room and everything. I mean, he went full on crazy, and definitely the twist too. I didn't see Jay Garrick or Hunter Zolomon being Zoom. Yeah, I didn't see that whole flash of that actor being there, so that was cool. That caught me at the moment. Barry's little add-ons to his suit. The effects were still amazing. They had that King Shark episode. They had a lot of cool moments too. It beat season one, and season one was really good, but this still it toppled that basically, which is like Arrow season 2 toppled season 1 of Arrow. It's that same thing. Well, let's just hope Flash season 3 is not like Arrow season 3. But yeah, everything about it. Cisco getting his powers, the whole Earth 2 thing, that was really amazing, and then of course at the end, giving us the real Jay Garrick and making it be the John Wesley Shipp, the actor, Barry's dad. That whole stuff there, the costume, the looks, the production, it was a perfect season, and it was a lot of nerdgasms throughout every episode.
Yeah, it was a fantastic season. It made Flash this kind of, like, for me, Flash, I liked it, but not as much as Arrow, like I said. And then this season just fucking went right over Arrow.
Right.
News and Magma, your general thoughts of this season?
I thought it was cool. The finale was okay. I didn't like all this time stuff. It's really confusing people, and people don't really know what's going on. They're really confusing people. I did not like when he went to Supergirl's Earth. They did not talk about Supergirl on Flash. And also another thing I forgot to point out in Arrow, Dave, I don't like how they're killing off the Suicide Squad in the Arrow universe.
Yeah, well, no, I don't like. That was another downfall for me because I don't like Deadshot. I like the whole Suicide. That was a big thing that really hurt me with Arrow, and that we did forget to talk about them killing off the whole Suicide Squad thing. That was a big part I liked about Arrow because it filled me in on the Suicide Squad because I didn't know nothing about the Suicide Squad other than the upcoming movie, and I was getting into the whole idea of the Suicide Squad, and I liked it. And do you agree, Daniel? Did you like that they killed off the Suicide Squad, or?
Yeah, I was pissed off about that. I love Deadshot and season 3 of Arrow with the whole Suicide Squad episodes, but yeah, them killing off I wish they could just do the movie. I know they're separate, the movie and TV, but they just keep it together somehow. I mean, since really Will Smith being Deadshot, that kind of ruined Arrow with Deadshot dying and everything. They should have at least kept him for another season at most, or another. They could have kept the Suicide Squad this season. That could have done something there, but
That hurt.
bad move.
That hurt the show.
Mhm.
But yeah, general thoughts about Flash. Any more Frozen?
I like a lot of the Earth 2 stuff. I want to see a lot more of that kind of stuff. New metahumans. Can't wait to see Supergirl, more Supergirl interactions now that she's finally like she's confirmed for the CW, and they can finally work her around. But I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do it since she's on another Earth.
See, one thing, not cutting you off, one thing with these whole interactions of other shows, one thing you gotta understand, not everybody watches every show. So, with going back to the whole thing we said about Flash, with what Flash did, going back in time and saving his mother, could that affect Arrow? My opinion, it shouldn't. Because that is a different show not everybody watches Flash, so they're going to be like, how the fuck why is this going on, blah, 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 unless they fill you in on the show, which I don't think, that's where these shows can get kind of confusing if they keep doing that shit. That's going to confuse people, because there is some people that don't watch Supergirl, there is some people that don't watch Arrow, and there's some people that watch Flash, but Arrow, it's the same thing. But yeah, that could be confusing. But any more of general thoughts of the Flash season 2?
I liked how they got Wally West and Jesse Quick, like how they got hit with the accelerator, so that way they possibly will have powers. But I highly doubt that they're going to have a couple of Flash speedsters running around on the show. I don't see any more than 2 speedsters on the show, because then that would just be too many.
I know it'll be too many, but it seems like a speedster type of show, if that makes sense. Because
I know what you mean, but if you have all these people being the Flash, then why do you need the Flash? You have Wally West. Why do you need him if you got the Flash? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, when it comes are you any more thoughts of Flash season 2?
I want to see. Well. I want to give some suggestions on season 3. Are you going to bring that up in the topic?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay, go ahead. I'm done.
All right, Flash season 2, phenomenal. I love Zoom. He made season 2. Zoom was probably my favorite villain, to date in the Flash show. I think he was awesome. I like how they showed his backstory of how he was created. I just like his whole I love everything about him. I thought it was a great idea. And I like how you guys said the whole thing with Cisco, how Cisco got powers. I like the whole doppelganger thing. I like them going to Earth 2. I will say it's very confusing at times, the whole Earth 2, and I think there's an Earth 3, and that's going to get real confusing. But overall, the Flash just, really improved from season 1, big time. And I hope it's not another Arrow situation where it goes season 1, in my opinion, was great. Season 2 was fantastic, and then it starts kind of dying down. I hope it keeps this going. But overall, just general thoughts about Flash season 2. I love the shark, the shark guy. What's his name?
King Shark.
King Shark looked amazing. I love how they did Zoom. The special effects are just pretty good for the CW. Just overall great, But yeah, let's get into some of the topics of Flash. I was asking, what villain could you see for season 3? And I'm gonna go for say the Reverse Flash. I could see not Harrison Wells' Reverse Flash, but the actual Reverse Flash. What about you, Danny?
Yeah, that could happen. With the real Eobard Thawne. But I'm fine with that. Maybe not I don't know about the whole 23 episodes, but for the first half maybe, or 10, 11 episodes maybe, because I wouldn't really get tired of it, but I mean, some fans will get tired, hey, it's a Reverse Flash, even though it's Eobard Thawne. Technically, Eobard Thawne was in Harrison Wells, so it was technically Eobard Thawne, really. It's just a different actor. So it would be like Reverse Flash again, really, like, just sort of that thing. Like, I think they even said season 3 is not going to be a speedster villain. I think they already confirmed that it's going to be
Yeah, okay,
somebody
I know
new.
that. So that's in a way that's cool.
Yeah.
And one more thing, I'll say like Grog would be awesome if he started like an army. I think in the comics don't quote me on that, but I think from some of the stuff I look in the comics, I think he starts like an army type thing. That'd be cool. He comes back with
Mhm.
gorillas like him. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Go on. Whatever else you had to say about that.
Yeah, but you're right. Grodd they're gonna bring Grodd back this season, I'm assuming, or next season. They'll bring King Shark back from. 23 episodes. You could probably bring King Shark back. I don't. Is he dead? Oh, he's dead, isn't he? I don't know. I guess I don't know if he's dead or not. Maybe
Not
he
the
is.
Earth 2 version.
Okay, Earth. Yeah, there you go. Earth 2, and Earth 3 and Earth 4. They could continue basically going on. There's no end really to it. So yeah, they could bring King Shark back. Grodd, I'm assuming Grodd will be a big part, hopefully. But if it's not going to be a speedster, it's either Gorilla Grodd or somebody new that they haven't teased.
Oh yeah. What about you? Is that all you got, Daniel?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. What about you, Frozen? Could you see the Reverse Flash being brought back for season 3? And who do you think is going to be the villain for season 3?
I really don't know who they're gonna use. Right now I'm on Wikipedia looking up the list of Flash enemies just so I can get an idea. They might bring back Captain Cold because I heard Captain Cold is gonna be a series regular, like not a series regular, but he's confirmed for every show. So he's gonna be in and out. They could probably go with Grodd. He's like the most reasonable one. Probably Grodd. Maybe some more from Earth 2.
The Trickster,
Yeah,
like another Trickster.
Yeah, the Trickster, Pied Piper, Mirror Master. There's a couple listed here that I'm reading about. I don't really know who they're going to do. They could do Kid Zoom because apparently Zoom has a child or something like that. There's a story where he has a kid. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll just have. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I just want to see what you guys thought of that. All right. Since when it comes to the Flash, what else do I have for the Flash? The big thing this season, the big thing happening at the end. The Flash going back in time and saving his mother. What do you guys think's that's gonna cause? There's an echo. What do you guys think that's gonna happen basically with that? Do you think it's gonna? What could that basically do with him going back saving his mother? We obviously know it could save. He got all upset basically. He was in another place in his mind because Zoom killed his dad. That was a big thing this season too. Zoom killed his dad, but he was all destroyed mentally from that. He went back, talked to what's her name? What's that chick's name? His girlfriend.
Iris.
Iris, talking to Iris about how he needs to get his head straight. And what do you think that's going to cause, Daniel?
What was it again for the going back in time and all that?
How do you think that's going to affect the show if you had to give an opinion?
Yeah, basically it wipes out season 1 and season 2 is basically what it does. So all those hours of watching Flash for nothing, basically, that story's out of the way. I do feel like with they're setting up Flashpoint Paradox. I haven't read the story personally, but Flashpoint Paradox, which maybe Cisco won't. Obviously, some people won't know him, some people will. I feel like he'll somehow fix the timeline in a sort of sense by the end of the season or somewhere where he'll fix everything. He'll be back where he, in his regular timeline maybe. A lot of stuff could happen. There's just so much things that could go on with him. I mean, maybe he could go to jail, I know that I've heard teases of him going to jail, of course. I guess his dad's not, well, his dad doesn't go to jail. His mom's still alive, so a lot of stuff could go on. I honestly don't know where they want to go with it. So,
All right.
yeah.
What about you, Frozen?
Um, from what they're doing on Legends of Tomorrow, like with the whole Justice Society thing, I could really see them doing like the Flashpoint thing on how we're probably going to see a lot of like Earth 3 stuff. They're really going to try to set up some kind of connection going on between like these worlds. I think that's what we're going to see because then the whole world's going to change up, and I think that the Flash from Earth 3, he's going to play a role in the season 3. I think he's going to be a big role.
Okay, all right. Yeah, going to me, I just hope it don't make the show more complicated. I really, in a way, I wish he didn't do that. I wish he just, accepted the loss. I mean, I know it's hard to accept the loss of a family member, but I mean, I just think it makes the show more complicated, more complicated, more complicated. I would have just liked if he killed, did what happened with Zoom. He didn't kill Zoom, but the time, what are those things called? The time demons or something?
Time Remnants.
Yeah, the rapes or RAS or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came back, took Zoom. I thought wish that just happened, and then he didn't do the whole time thing. I know it was like a twist at the end, but I just hope it don't get more complicated. That's the only thing I don't like about this whole time travel thing that they do. Like it's do it, but don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it all the time. But I mean, it is part of Flash, so they got to do that. I just hope, I just hope it don't get too confusing. That's my big thing on it. But also, and nobody really knows what they could do with the whole what's going to happen with this. I just want to see some people's predictions. Mine is just basically, I hope it don't change the show in a bad way. I know they. Now the whole thing with his dad being the his doppelganger of his dad being the that was the Flash from the 90s, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay,
Original,
so
yeah.
my only thoughts on that, oh well, let's talk about that. The Man in the Iron Mask was the original Flash from the 90s. I just think he's too old to be Flash. That's just me. He looked too old. What about you, Daniel? General thoughts of the Man in the Iron Mask, the big reveal.
Yeah, with him being Jay Garrick, I always thought it was going to be Jay Garrick. We talked about this many podcasts ago where it could be Wally West or something. But with him being Jay Garrick, he's supposed to be Jay Garrick's an older guy. That's who he is. That's why when I thought the real Jay Garrick is when Jay Garrick in season 2 when it first started, we all thought that was Jay Garrick. We didn't know he was hundreds old on technically, so he is where he's supposed to be, the right age. He's an older man, because I believe Jay Garrick was the first Flash ever back in the 50s or 40s, whenever, because since he has a helmet and everything and that look. I'm very happy. And with John Wesley Shipp, that's good that since, Henry Allen's dead, he could continue on to the show with Jay Garrick. And already when he was when he said what to Barry and he's like nothing because he looks like his dad and he wants to say something, I didn't see him as Henry Allen anymore. I saw him as Jay Garrick. I already saw him as a different character, and I hope he returns in season 3. Because it looks like he may not return only every now and then, but I hope they do. I hope he's a big part somehow with season 3 in a way. But it's great. I enjoyed the reveal. I mean, once I saw the back of the mask when they were going to take it off, I was like, okay, it's Henry Allen. It's John Wesley Shipp. But it's good. They keep him on the show. His costume looks amazing. His helmet, looks even better. It's perfect. Glad that Jay Garrick, the real Jay Garrick's, on the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the whole reveal with the Man in the Iron Mask, and shout out to Hydro and JRPG Gaming. Thank you guys for watching. But yeah, the whole reveal with the Man in the Iron Mask, I thought it was a good reveal. I thought it was something that not a lot of people were predicting. Then I started watching videos, and there was some people predicting that. A lot of people thought it was just going to be the doppelganger of Zoom, but I thought the reveal was pretty good. I thought I actually was, everybody's thinking it's this person. It's like The Walking Dead. Everybody's trying to figure out who Negan killed. Like The Flash, who's the man in the Iron Mask? Not as big though. I will say the whole Negan thing is getting like blown out of the fucking water, like what they're doing with that. That's absurd. But that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, the Man in the Iron Mask reveal was fantastic. I thought it was a right choice. I thought it was, you had some people thinking it was Wally West's, doppelganger, Kid Flash, I believe. I'm not familiar with all the Flash characters. But yeah, a lot of people thinking it was the doppelganger of Zoom, and then it come to find out it was the original Flash from the 90s, which was really cool. I just thought he looked a little older, but Daniel does make sense. That should be his age now. That's cool. I like the reveal for the Man in the Iron Mask. That was really good. Other than that, with the Flash, just in general, did you guys enjoy all the different characters this season? Like, King Shark, Zoom, like all the new guys that they introduced. What do you think, Daniel? Oh, wait, look. Hold on.
Okay.
And Armored, how's it going, Armored? Thank you for joining the show.
Good. It's going good. I kind of already predicted that it was Jay Garrett way before that, like around the mid-season finale, though.
Okay, well, since we're on that topic, give me your thoughts on the whole Man in the Iron Mask.
Well, when you first seen him, like, you could tell that it wasn't Wally, because, like, they already cast, if you followed up with The Flash, you already knew who they cast with Wally West. And you could tell by the body structure it wasn't him, so you could knock him out. And it's the same with Jay Garrett, because when he stood up, when you first seen him when they went Earth 2, so like you could tell his body structure didn't meet either one of Jay Garrett or Wally West. So there was only one other person that he could have been. And then they also, if you was following their contracts and following who was going, they said that Jay Garrett was going to be a season regular on next year. So I was like, okay, so it's probably just him in the Iron Mask.
Okay. Where do we just? What was the other thing I just brought up? I've lost the train of thought. The villains in season 2 of the Flash, King Shark, Zoom. What's your thoughts about them, Daniel? Like, do you think this was the right choice for villains? And is there anyone you didn't enjoy? Anyone you enjoyed more?
Yeah, I enjoyed King Shark. I enjoyed multiple villains. The one villain I thought could have been better was Rupture, which was Cisco's brother's doppelganger. He had a cool look to him, but yet it's just a lot of the villains in these shows are cliched. Like they're in plain sight to shoot somebody or kill somebody, and they miss on purpose. I guess that's the point, to scare them. But Rupture, like his voice, kind of reminded me of Kylo Ren. I'm not trying to say copy or anything, but it almost sounded like Kylo Ren from Star Wars, his voice that they were doing. But Rupture, I thought, could have been a little bit better, and they killed Rupture too, so I guess that they kill him easily. But King Shark was awesome. Gorilla Grodd episode was really cool. I don't really remember much villain. I mean, I really can't remember much of the other metahuman villains. The first episode was that Atom Smasher, played by Edge from WWE. He was okay, he did good. That Sand guy.
Tar was in there. Tar was really good.
Yeah, I remember Tar too. Yeah, like small villains like that, Metahuman Tar, Atom Smasher was alright. It's not really memorable. I guess Zoom, King Shark.
What about what's that chick's name? The one that helped Cisco, her doppelganger. The one that was helping, Caitlin's doppelganger. What's her name?
Killer Frost.
I liked her. I thought she was pretty cool.
That was Caitlin Frost was playing as Killer Frost. I mean, Caitlin playing as Killer Frost.
Yeah, her doppelganger. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
But see, that's the thing with like the Flash that you got to understand is they kill, because the Flash has always dealt with the multiverse, they dealt with multiple different worlds and divisions and stuff. So like they always kill them off. I think what they were doing was setting them for the set pieces for the Earth 1 characters. For like Caitlin going evil and Cisco's brother getting his powers. And I think that's where that's coming from. Is they're just setting the pieces up.
Caitlin, do you think is gonna go evil?
in the way the multiverse works with like the different Earths, each one of them have different lives and they go through different things. But a lot of times like the metahumans, some form and always will gather their powers. So like we're eventually going to see Caitlyn somehow have her powers
Oh,
because Earth 1 she's already supposed to be Killer Frost. So it was kind of weird that they had her in Earth 2 Killer Frost, but she wasn't if you go off like DC Comics.
okay, okay. Yeah, no, that's interesting. See, I'm still. I just got. I always liked the Flash, but never knew much about him. I just got into him with the TV show. I learned this is where I learned the most about. When it comes to Flash, I've always been a Batman, type of guy. So with these TV shows, it's getting me into more of the Flash. I've always liked DC though. I've always catered to DC mainly because of Batman. But yeah, Frozen Magma this season, season two's villains. Did you like them all? Did you dislike somebody? Who did you not? Stuff like that. Oh, hold on, I think I turned his volume down because it had some feed.
No,
No.
his mic is muted.
Okay. Well, we'll hold off on that for Frozen until he comes back. Um, General thoughts of Zoom too. Like, did you enjoy Zoom for Armored? Like, did you like how they did his backstory and then how they him being the lead villain this season and of course them bringing Siren as Laurel. That was a big surprise too.
Well, I liked Zoom. Laurel, I was kind of interested in, mainly because they're doing the Justice Society, Justice League of America, and she's supposed to be like one of the main people in there, so we'll probably see that happen sometime. But it's kind of weird because they have her, and then they have the other Canary, which came in the 52 reboot on Arrow. So I'm trying to figure out how they're going to exactly do that.
Yeah.
So are you gonna have two different, Black Canaries, or are you gonna have to kill one of them off?
Mhm.
Because we're gonna see her in next season's Arrow.
Mhm.
So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
wondering about that.
Well,
Uh,
and two with the character that plays Laurel, like, what do you think? Like, I know this is a little bit off topic, but what do you think? Where do you think she's gonna go as a? You think she's gonna be a part of one of these shows, or is she done with the whole thing after this whole Black Siren?
she's not signed as a main cast character for next season, but she is signed for I think two of the shows to appear on. So I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna build her story arc. I think she's gonna go to Legends. That's what
Oh,
I think is going to happen. Like you're going to see a lot of these characters go over to Legends and do the whole thing with Legends of Tomorrow because they're going to build that to eventually become like their Justice Society of America. Is what you're going to see like that because that's what they're going to do. They're not going to call it Justice League. They're going to call it that because they can't use the rights to Justice League, and they're going to build their offshoot, all their characters over there. Like we'll probably see Power Girl over there. We'll probably see some form of a cyborg. We'll probably see Wally head over there at some point. All of them, in all honesty. And
okay.
I think that's what they're going to do. Heroes that are just too big for like, and they take the focus off the main characters like Flash and Arrow. So they need like a TV show where they can like throw them all together.
Oh, okay, okay. Another thing I want to ask too. Did you guys go with Daniel? Did you enjoy when the one? Did you like the whole thing with Flash losing his powers, basically giving him the Zoom to save Wally West, and basically talking to the Speed Force? Daniel.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, him taking the speed. That was interesting. I liked Zoom's reaction to it and everything. Uh, you know, the episode since it was directed by Kevin Smith, I kind of have to be. I mean, I enjoyed the Kevin Smith episode a lot where he talked to the Speed Force because it was an emotional episode. He's again talking to God basically in a sort of sense of this who gave him his powers. It's just I don't know. It didn't ruin it. It's not like one of those story arcs or whatever, like they do, like say with like Arrow or something, like a story arc that ruined it. Like it didn't ruin the show or nothing like that. It was kind of like he got his powers back, sort of thing. Like Thea died, she comes back, Lazarus Pit, sort of thing. Like why do it in the first place, sort of sense. But Barry did learn more about himself in a sort of way when it's more just character development. I would say is what they did for Barry. And Wally doesn't want to be a hero, even though he doesn't have powers at the moment that we know of. He does, he learned, and now he knows that Barry sacrificed a lot for him, for family and everything. So it was sort of just like a character development, I would say, with taking the powers away and then giving it back for that story.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole Speed Force episode and how he had to give his
I
power? Zoom.
see that was a very interesting episode because that wasn't done by the regular Flash director. That was done by the guy from Jay and Silent Bob's. I can't remember his name, Keenan or Kyle something. And I like the take he did with the Speed Force because if you read like a lot of the Flash comics, the Speed Force doesn't have an entity, and it doesn't deal with them time rapes. So like mixing that all in together was really a good way in a lot of sense because it made more sense to what the Speed Force is. So I kind of did like. We want to see how they're going to do the end of the series because if you read I think it's Crisis of Middle Earth or whatever on Flash, and that's like one of the big 52 reboots. So fast to save all the multiverses that he kills himself, and then he turns into lightning, and then there's a theory that the lightning that struck him is actually Barry from the future. So I want to see if they actually do that, and the Speed Force kind of talks him into doing that at the end. Would you kind of see a hint of that with the doppelganger that Barry brung in at the season finale?
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I want to. I want to go to that too right now. Let Frozen Magma. Talking about the whole. Before we go to that next topic, the whole Speed Force thing and basically that whole episode. Given his powers, basically to save Wally West. Did you enjoy that or Frozen here? I think Frozen. I thought he was back. He said he was back. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, other than that, I'll wait. Well, I guess we'll hold off. Yeah, I don't hear you, Frozen. I have your volume up. Says he's having technical difficulties. But he can comment on that when he comes back or gets something fixed. Going into the whole thing, damn it, I just had it what I wanted to talk about. The whole Speed Force thing. Now I went fucking blank myself. But yeah, basically this season, I would say, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed the whole thing. I thought like I said, I like Arrow. I liked more than the Flash, and then this season made me like the Flash way more. I thought the whole Zoom thing was really cool. That's what it was. When Flash basically raced Zoom, and he made a doppelganger of himself. He convinced himself yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Zoom did the same thing too this season. He convinced himself to what was all that with Flash and Zoom? Did you see that when Flash up in the beginning of the episode? But he's like, oh, I created somebody myself and convinced him that it was basically to die. He did it, and then Flash did the same thing to save everybody. So during that race, did he go back in time to talk to himself, to get himself to do that? Whoever wants to go on that one.
I think Frozen is trying to talk.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, Frozen, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, what was the question?
The whole thing with basically how we saw on the season finale, Flash make I would assume, a doppelganger of himself to convince himself to save everybody, where he goes so fast he literally disintegrates. But then there's another, the main Flash is still alive, and then Zoom did that same thing. What was your thoughts on that?
I think it's like him from the future or something, just like how Armored was saying. And then I don't read the comics, but probably Armored could speak on this, like the Black Flash. I wonder if Zoom turned into the Black Flash.
Okay.
I was curious on what happened to Zoom, because I think Zoom is still around. I don't think he's really gone.
I don't think that's the end of Zoom.
He is, because he's supposed to be not him as Zoom, but the character that plays Zoom is supposed to be coming back in an appearance next season, from what I've been reading up on. That is kind of what Zoom and the Reverse Flash and Wally West do a lot in the comics. They don't do it. They're not going to do it as much in here because it's going to be a lot of production value and CG to get that done. But it's a common thing where like Barry never actually kills his doppelgangers. He always convinces his doppelgangers to like kill themselves off, or they go off into their time to help out. So like it's a very common thing in the Flash verse.
Mhm.
So I could see it happen more,
Yeah,
but
that
it probably won't happen as often in all honesty because it is one of his little abilities he can do.
what was Flash's? I mean, what was Zoom's reason again for what he did with Flash? Remember when Flash got pissed off and started fighting him, and then all of a sudden you see him have the other doppelganger, and then Zoom shows up. Like that was like what was all behind that?
I think that was just basically to show Barry that he's so committed that he even his counterparts or like the future or past selves to him are willing to sacrifice everything just to commit to what they're trying to do. You know,
Oh,
and in order for Flash to take down someone that committed into what he believes in and what he's trying to accomplish, he's going to have to either do the same thing or he's going to have to cross that line and eventually kill Zoom. That's the reason why, if you notice, when Flash was getting ready to kill Zoom, like he stopped because the future Flash was able to bring the time wraiths in, because Barry basically pulled I think it was the past Flash actually back to help him pull the wraiths to come after Zoom, because he
yeah.
was hiding from the wraiths the entire time.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. What about your thoughts about this, Daniel, with the whole thing with the Flash basically making a doppelganger of himself to save everybody, and then the whole thing with Zoom doing it first, like where Flash got the idea, I guess, to do that.
I thought it was really awesome. I didn't expect that when we saw the two zooms in the beginning of the episode where they're fighting, and then you see the two zooms running. I thought it was, from my knowledge, I thought it was just like him being fast. He saw like his self, like when Flash ran earlier in the season, he's running so fast, and then he sees himself like from the past or present or the future or past, something like that. So I didn't know that he brought his other self in, and then when he killed Zoom, I thought that was it was a big surprise that I never knew he had that power to actually do that. So
Oh,
yeah, with Flash doing that, what was that?
no, I was listening.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, and then with the end, Flash, him disintegrating and actually doing that, I thought that was really cool. How he actually sacrificed himself, and he ended up stopping the device, so that's cool. That's a good thing. I mean, or else all the other Earths would have been destroyed, or the portals and all that. So that's cool that he did that. They keep on bringing more Flash powers and new stuff, and to add on to the seasons, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Which was really good, and the fight too between Flash and he flipped him in the air and hit him, striking him
It
down.
was cool.
That was great. Good choreography there. But yeah, in the beginning, like even though it's so CGI in a sort of sense where they're running and like they're flipping through the air and it's so computerized, like nothing is real. It looks funny. It does look funny, but it's still pretty badass.
It's acceptable for a TV show because that's why I don't care. At least they're doing it that way, At least they're doing it at all.
Yeah.
It's the only way you could do Flash that in that aspect, because of the fact you have to show how fast he truly is. So you have to show like he moves so fast that, and a lot of times when he's doing them fight scenes, even in the comics, it looks like a blur, and then like to him everybody looks like they're running in slow motion. So like you have to get that. But the thing that kind of irritated me is because they took different sections from different comics, like Crisis of Middle Earth, Moral Point, and another one. And Crisis of Middle Earth, that machine was supposed to destroy the multiverse and everything around it, and that was a whole Justice League plot point, because that was what they were going to do to reset the DC universe. And that little section where you see Flash running across the machine until he disintegrates, that's where I was talking about earlier, because in the comic books, he does that. He runs around this giant machine or whatever until he disintegrates, and he kills himself off. It's not the doppelganger that does it. It's actually the real Flash. And then that's how he kind of just dies and goes out, and he gets turned into lightning, and then you see him, like in the comics, strike back himself from the past. So I think that's what they're going to... I think that's how the series finale is going to end, is they're going to try to go back to that arc, but you already used the arc, so I'm kind of like, you can't reuse the arc again.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting next season with it. I thought it was cool how he did that. That was pretty cool. Um, other than that, with all that with the Flash,
Did y'all
trying to
talk
think
about
of,
season 3 predictions?
yeah, well, season three predictions is fine. What's some of your season three predictions?
Well, they're taking the trial theme, which is what happened was in Flashpoint from at the end of the season 2.
Now,
And what I mean by that,
Flashpoint, they have it on Netflix, right? The cartoon.
yeah, they have the cartoon, but the comics way better. What I was gonna say with that is in Flashpoint and Trial, basically Barry goes back and he tries to save his mom. He saves his mom and loses his powers, and he's stuck in the past. And that's kind of what you see at the end of season 2. So I'm wondering if they're gonna like show the old Barry meet the past Barry. So at one point, like basically, the old Barry somehow gets, because what I mean by trial is he's supposed to go on trial, and then like he gets arrested and he goes through into jail and he's in prison for years, but he was stuck in the past, so that's kind of what happened. So and then the Barry Allen that we know from season 1 will somehow meet up with him in season 3. So it's kind of confusing how they're going to do that. I think what they're going to do is they're going to find some way for him to get back to the future and to the present day, and like everything's going to change. Like the entire world's going to change, and he's going to have to try to find a way to fix it. But when he gets back, his powers are gone.
Well, to be armored now, we asked this question earlier. Do you think him going back in time and doing what he did, will that affect any of the other shows?
See, that's what I'm kind of interested in because like Flash, he always affects everything in the DC universe. When he does that whole going back in time and he misplaces anything, he affects the universe of the DC universe in some way. So I
Uh,
do think it will affect the other shows.
could you see Laurel coming back or no?
Like I said, from the contracts that they signed, and this is going off like what they have on the contract, she's only supposed to show up in 2 shows as like spot cameos, kind of like how Captain Cole is.
Mm,
He's supposed to show up in all 4 of the shows, so I don't think she's coming back as a regular.
okay,
Uh,
that's interesting.
I think she will probably come back. They will somehow make her become good, and she'll go into DC's Legends of Tomorrow,
Okay.
and that's where I think they'll put her
Yeah, they said
because her character is one of the original founders of Justice League of America, which she is supposed to actually be the Black Canary's mom. So it's kind of confusing how they use Laurel Lance as Black Cyrus, when that's supposed to be Black Canary's mom.
see, that's the thing. That's the only thing with this going back in time stuff. It gets really confusing. But basically, trying to think, I had one other topic I want to talk with Flash. Was there anything else? Well, just in general, if you had to review Flash this season, give it a score, and your general things you didn't. Okay, that's what I want to ask. Things you didn't like about this season, Daniel. Are you there, Daniel? Daniel. Hey, Daniel, fall asleep. Frozen.
Um, Things I didn't like. I didn't like him losing his powers again because I'm tired of him doing that. Even though he does do that in the comics a lot, he does get his powers taken away. I didn't like how they had the one girl go away. His first girlfriend. What's her name? Patty.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like how she.
Oh, you're talking about Speed.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't like that. I kind of didn't like how they were killing a lot of the Earth 2 villains off. Like a lot of those characters, like Killer Frost and them. I would like to see them more around. Like I thought Killer Frost and Vibe and Reverb and all those people were kind of interesting. And I didn't like how in Arrow, not to go back to the Arrow, but when they showed that grave scene, you see the Flash and he has his powers, but he really didn't have his powers. But it was just kind of an out of episode order type of thing. You know what I'm talking about? You remember when he's sitting at the grave and he's looking at the grave and he says, "I want to be alone," and the Flash speeds off with his powers. But in the episode previously, he didn't have his powers.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that's just like an episode thing. I think that's what it was out of order.
Yeah, I agree with you on
Okay.
that, but that was because of production on the shows. It was the same way with the crossover with Supergirl and Flash. He was completely out of order on that one too.
Yeah, pretty good season. I
Okay.
want to see what they're gonna do with Wally West. I really want to see what they're gonna do with him and Jesse Quick.
Well, Jesse Quick, she's going back with. That was what I wanted to mention too. Harrison Wells, is he going to be a part of the show? The Earth 2 Harrison Wells, is he? They're going back. They brought the original Flash back. They're going to help him get back to Earth 3, and they're going back to Earth 2 because Jesse Quick, she basically wanted to be with her friends again, and she told Harrison Wells from Earth 2, she's like, I know you're happy here, and I want to see you happy. That's all I ever want to see was you happy. But he decides to go
He'll be
back.
back.
Yeah. I like him in the show. I think he's a good addition.
He'll be back because of one reason. When Barry went to go save his mom, anything that the Reverse Flash did is non and void anymore. So like he didn't kill the original Harrison Wells, none of that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
I could see the original Reverse Flash making a return to this season, like not the one that's like not the Harris Wells, like not the body that he sold, but the other.
Yeah, you're talking about I can't remember his name.
It's really
Negan or whatever.
It's confusing. Like it's really confusing, but it's all interesting too.
He's supposed to be a cast regular back again too, so he's gonna come back. I think we're gonna see his daughter because the original Harrison Wells is still alive now. So I think we will see his daughter come back in the sense of that. So like he'll still have the daughter, he'll still have old girl there, and everything else will still basically be the same. But we won't see the Earth 2 character. So it's gonna kind of be a little interesting how they do that, because we'll see like the Earth 1 character, and then like they'll go over to Earth 2 to do their little spin-off over there for an episode, and we'll see her there too.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be very interesting to do that.
All right, Daniel. I guess you had technical. It was funny because your screen like froze, so it looked like you were like sleeping or something. I guess that's how it froze. I was like, damn, Daniel fell asleep. I was like, but what's your thoughts of like things you didn't like about this season? Like when it comes to season 2, is there anything? I mean, I didn't really have anything I didn't like about it. I mean, but I'm just curious if anybody else had something they didn't like about it.
Something that I didn't like?
Yeah, like things you disliked about season 2.
Just probably, small things. Not that it makes like a big difference out of the season, but like when it happened, like the premiere, when Barry was very depressed and everything, because Ronnie died in the finale. The original Firestorm died. He's all depressed and everything, sort of. Like I get it, part of the story, but he was very like for the beginning of a premiere. It's supposed to be the Flash season 2. Hell yeah, it's back, and he's all depressed and everything. That was sort of a little down at times. And then towards the end of the season, when he was getting a little like, I guess it's called whatever, optimistic, or when he was like, all right, guys, let's go and do this. Like when he was like very like, because Barry does change moods a lot at times in the show, where he's like happy, or he's very sad, or he's depressed, or he's but just stuff like that. I guess I would say just every now and then. Not that it ruins the show, or it's not like I'm gonna stop watching the show or something like that. I'm just saying that's just little small things, like because Barry Allen, I'm assuming in the comics he's a funny guy. He's a comedic guy out of the group. And sometimes he's very serious in the show, where I just want him to be comedic. Like Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, he's not funny as Green Arrow in the comics, where he's just making jokes and stuff like that. So I wish he could just be a little bit more just funny and not caring, but it's it's a TV show and everything. But
they do good for what it is. I mean, it's not the best. It's not like Game of Thrones production or Penny Dreadful or anything like that. But they do. I think they do good for the CW. I do. I mean,
well, for the whole thing about the humor and everything, that kind of deals with the Speed Force, because it plays off of Barry's emotions, right? So like he from what I understand, a lot of times, depending on how like his emotions are set and everything, and his mind's not really like, if it's really out of focus or anything, he slows down a lot. So, like, in the comics, you see him always being cheerful and happy and stuff because that's kind of just how the guy is. This is the reason why he's the fastest man out of Zoom and all of them is because their emotions are kind of out of whack compared to how Barry is just kind of always cheerful and just everything sunshines and rainbows.
Right.
But I think he hides a lot of his, his feelings behind that, so he can get to the speed that he has. As far as Oliver, if you've read like the Arrow comics from like start to finish, you'll notice that he was very dark, kind of a little darker than Batman when he first started. And as the series goes and different writers came in, he became more cheerful and was very sarcastic and joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. I did hear that. Armor, did I ask you this question? What's some of the things you least liked about this season?
I didn't like how they compiled, and it's just the season finale, how they compiled a lot of different comics into one. That was the only thing that kind of irritated me, but everything else, because like I said, Crisis of Middle-earth was the one that I really wanted to see as the series finale, and they kind of already blew their load with that with season 2 because they took a lot of the aspects of Crisis of Middle-earth into season 2's ending. So that's the only thing I didn't really like. I wanted to see more Gorilla Grodd and Gorilla City. I was kind of hoping that they would tease up on that a little bit more because he did go to Earth 2. So I was figuring that we would see that when we went to Earth 2, but they kind of didn't. They shied from that.
Grodd starts like an army or something, doesn't he? Of gorillas like him or something.
Well, he takes over Gorilla City at one point and starts like a technological army and stuff, and then that's actually when you meet like the Brain, which I don't know if y'all know who the Brain is.
No.
It's a French scientist that wanted to be like a technomaster or some shit like that, where basically he puts his brain into a giant robot, and him and Gorilla Grodd team up a lot.
Oh, cool! I think Grodd is just one of the coolest things of the show. I just want to see more, but I think Frozen usually says the production of Grodd is really expensive, and that's why they don't do them so much.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the same with King Shark too, because King Shark.
He looks like he is like him and King Shark look the coolest in the show. Like they did a really good job with them. I think Grodd was just a little bit better, but especially when they did that scene. I don't know if it was this season. I think it was last season, maybe, or maybe it was this season, where Grodd had Joe in the sewer. Was that this season or was that last season?
Last season.
Okay, that looked like you could tell Joe was like really scared. I mean, anybody would with a gorilla that big, and he's trying to make him shoot himself, and he's in his face. That was cool. But yeah, I just wanted to ask that question too. I can't really complain about this season at all. I enjoyed the whole thing. I thought it was great. If you had to give it a score of 1 to 10 this season of Flash season 2, what would you give it, Daniel?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Okay. What about you, Frozen?
I would give it a 9 out of 10, but it confuses me so much, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. And Armored?
I'll give it a 7.
Okay, I give it a 9. I liked it. I thought it was good, but I hope it just don't. I hope it don't fall off like Arrow's. Basically on that. I think I have a lot of faith in Arrow. I'm hoping season 5.
Why do you think Arrow's falling off?
I didn't like that ending. I didn't like after Laurel died. I thought the show got boring.
See, like they had to do that. There had to be a point to go after dark, and everything that they did with Arrow, and this is why I knew like Legends was going to do a Justice Society, because everything that was going on with Arrow was stuff that was going on with Justice Society in America before that came about. So like you could see like the ripples of them already heading to that story arc, and I love the fact that they're going with Oliver Queen as mayor next year, because that was a really good story arc of how he was having to deal as Oliver Queen and mayor, and that was the one where he eventually came out and told everybody, hey, I'm Arrow, I'm Green Arrow in that story arc, so I can't wait to see if he actually does that at one point.
See, that's another thing I have with a lot of these shows. Like, I mean, I didn't read the comics of Arrow or Flash, but I will say this. Like, it's like everybody's becoming a superhero in Arrow, definitely. Like, everybody always becomes a superhero. Same thing with Flash. And, like, a lot of people know who he is, like, and who Flash is. You know what I'm saying? Like, That's the only thing, but maybe that's what goes on in the comics. I'm just saying in general. Like with Batman, not many people know who Batman is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Alfred.
That's be
You got.
that's because Batman hides his identity and tries the best to keep his separate lives away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually Arrow, because like in Arrow, he's always talking about like they're always talking about light, and he's trying to get away from the darkness and stuff. And that's even in the comics. Like he feels a lot of the repercussions of him killing people and stuff, and he tries to like use his hope to help out Star City. So eventually, like he comes out and says, "Hey, look, I'm the Arrow," and like the only thing that disappointed me with Arrow was Wildcat. Like they didn't show any more of him, and he's a really great hero, and I was kind of a little disappointed with that. But I mean, I thought it was a great overall season. In all honesty, I mean it showed a lot of Dark. I'm kind of a little pissed off that they killed Damien Dark because he doesn't die in the comics for quite some time, and he was a really good villain for Arrow. So that was the only thing that disappointed me with it. But I mean, the what's it called? Moral Point. That was a great interest because that actually is what started the Justice Society. Is like when that happened and the Ark was found, and then like the city blew up and Dark. It wasn't Dark. It was someone else that launched the rockets. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Savage that did that. It was Savage and his little minions that launched all the rockets and had the arcs, but they kind of used Dark instead of Savage because they couldn't use Savage because he was on Legends of Tomorrow. So like they reversed the arc completely from what the comics was, but like because of that repercussion is what made the Justice Society of America. So I was really glad that they was going with that story arc because now that helps all the crossovers with like Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, and such. So I think that's a really good way to do it. Especially like you had your focus mainly with Arrow on that, then you had your focus with Barry like going through his trials and tribulations, and then you had Legends of Tomorrow doing their thing, and it kind of all now interconnects into showing off the Justice Society of America, which is a really good thing.
And Supergirl, I don't know much about Supergirl, and I'm gonna watch Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl. Do you think Supergirl, like just in general, is a good tie into all this?
They have so much to fix on that.
But
The fact that they,
don't spoil Supergirl. Just saying.
okay, I'm not gonna spoil. I'll wait for you to watch it, and then I'll tell you like how fucked CW did that. Not CW, NBC. Which I'm really pissed with NBC because they killed off another good show this year, this season. Rush Hour. I don't know if any of you watched that.
I didn't see that yet.
That's actually really good and funny, and they ended it after the 8 episode, and I think they said it was because of the production value and the money. They just wasn't getting the ratings they want. So I'm kind of glad they moved Supergirl over to CW because CBS is just they're killing off some really good shows and they're not giving them time to actually like get an audience.
Quite clear. Oops. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to know what is that thing going on?
I've asked Lord Harris to carry out an urgent.
Something's playing in the back. I can't figure out what it is. But yeah. I just wanted to ask, like, the whole Supergirl's going to be a part of the CW, and definitely that's going to be more involved. With this whole thing with Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and Flash. But going to Gotham now. Gotham was really good. Did you see that, Armored?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, cool. Gotham, I have to say, I out of all the shows, that's probably one of my favorite ones. I like them all. I do like them all, but Gotham was the first one I started watching, which got me to finish every one of them. Like, and all these shows except Arrow, I like the Flash, Arrow, and Gotham. Flash and Gotham, I started watching and then stopped. I couldn't get interested in them the first time. But Arrow, I watched from the rip and just liked it from the get-go. But Gotham and Flash are like more of my favorites now. And Gotham, I think, is my lead one because I like Batman, just how it always is. This season of Gotham season 2, just in general, Daniel, what do you think of it?
I thought it was a great season. Season 1 was good to me. I didn't think it was great, but just for me, Gotham, in my opinion, Gotham's my favorite superhero show out there today. And that's not, I mean, I'm talking about TV cable-wise, not like Daredevil. That's separate. But for Gotham, man, I love Flash and everything, but Gotham, just the way it's filmed, the way it looks in HD, it's beautiful. Everything about it, and I don't, season 2 really did it better. I mean, like really hyped it. I mean, from the beginning, from the rise of the villains, or what was the revenge of the villains and stuff, and then Theo Galavan, his story. They brought so much characters into season 2 that was pretty crazy how much they did. They got Hugo Strange down amazing. BD Wong was fantastic. He was amazing. Mr. Freeze, I mean, I love his costume. I mean, some people may say it could be cheesy, but Mr. Freeze, they got him down right. They got Jerome right, even though if he's the Joker or not, they got him down right to, like, make us think he's the Joker, and a perfect TV Joker just for a few episodes, too. Penguin's progressed more. All the characters progressed more throughout this season. Firefly, I was so happy with her, man. I like Firefly. And it doesn't matter if it's a guy or girl. Still, how they did it was pretty amazing. We learned more about Bruce's parents and stuff like that. I mean, it picked it up more. The bar, how the directing was better. The way it was filmed, the production, the action. But the finale, I was disappointed by the finale. But other than that, I thought it was a great season.
Okay, Frozen, Gotham season 2 in general. What'd you think?
I really liked it. I gotta stick with that show. For some reason, I just stopped watching it. Like when I watch like my own shows, I watch them day on. But then Gotham, I just let pile up and I just watch them all together. It's pretty good. I'm really interested on what they're trying to do. Are they going to keep pursuing like this whole thing with Bruce Wayne? What are they doing with him? I just don't know what they're trying to do with him.
Yeah, that is getting.
They're going with the secret society, which of Gotham, which is the White Lady, and she's the actual real when the Riddler asked who runs Gotham and who runs Wayne Manor, it's the White Lady, and that's even how it is in a lot of the comic books too. Like she's like the inner society leader of like all the criminals and everything. So I'm kind of glad they brung her in there. I was interested in Talon too. They brung 2 different innovations of Talon in there. The one with Fish Mooney and then the one that had the actual claw. So that was really good.
Well, it's fucking good. Like I like where they're going. I agree. I never knew about, what's it called, the Council?
Yeah, the Council.
The Council. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. Hugo Strange was like looking at his TV and then they just appear. And then she's like looking back at the rest of them, and they all like agree. And then she, moves forward. I'm really interested to see where that's gonna go. But
Batman deals with them a lot in the older comics.
Yeah, I was never into comics. Now with all this, it gets me like looking through stuff on Google, and I even been to some comic book stores looking at stuff, thinking about starting to get into certain stuff. Well, it's interesting. Frozen anymore?
Are we going to talk about that the bus thing at the end?
Well, we're going to get to all that. Okay. Just general thoughts of just this season.
Really good. I can't wait for the next season. Real good season. I just like how they brought the villains back. I liked what they did with Theo Galavan. Penguin, he's definitely been one of the highlights. He had a lot of development in this season. I really like what they did with Penguin.
Development is Penguin and Riddler.
Yeah, Penguin, especially the Riddler. The Riddler was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Frozen, that link that you just put in the chat, is that the actual official thing from CW?
Oh no, that's just some news. I don't know.
Oh, that's just news?
I think it might be.
Because that does look pretty legit, because that's what I was thinking they were going to do with this, was the like main Flashpoint storyline for Flash for the first half of it.
Yeah, that's the thing with news in general. You never know if it's official. There's so many different news outlets for gaming and everything, movies. It's crazy. But yeah, is that it, Frozen? General thoughts? Okay. Armor, general thoughts of Gotham.
I liked everything. I like what they're doing. I also like the fact that these characters are before Bruce becomes Batman, and that's pretty good. The guy that can't remember his name, Azrael or whatever. That's actually an actual, like, if you read the comics, that was a character that Bruce used to watch a lot as a kid that jumped around, and that's kind of where he got the little theme for the mask and everything. Like when he does that first pose, when you first see him jumping through the air and everything, you'll notice that that's actually a Batman pose later on when he becomes Batman. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, if at the end of the series, are they going to do like Smallville, where you see Bruce put on the cape, and then that's the end?
Well, that's what I'm
You know,
wondering.
because that's
You have some people that I've heard, different opinions about this show that they think that you are going to see him turn into Batman on this show. I don't think so, in my opinion. I think, I think like you said it, like later on we might see at the end something.
I think they're
but
signed
not,
up for seven seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we'll see it at the end season finale, kind of how like Smallville was, where you see like the guy for Smallville put the cape on and leave, and then that's all you see.
Yeah.
You know, so you see like his basically becoming. I think they're gonna do that with Bruce. I mean, if it is 7 seasons, because by that time he would be 18, and that's not too far off from what Batman was. I think Batman was 22, 24 when he donned the cape.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they could do it like that.
Okay. So in your general thoughts this season, was it you enjoyed the season?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed the season. I enjoyed the characters.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing with Firefly, that didn't really bother me because there's been different iterations of Firefly. There was a female one that one of the writers wrote, so I was fine with how they set up Firefly. Like, I didn't see too many problems. The only thing that kind of confused me was they had the 52 version of Talon, and then they had another version of Talon, which was an older version in like the same story arc. So that kind of was like, how are you doing two different Talons? So.
Yeah.
But the thing with Fish Moody, she's gonna go meet up with the White Lady next season, guaranteed.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's good. I like what they did with her. I mean, is that all you got, or?
Yeah, that's all. I'm more interested in the council and the White Lady for next season.
Yeah, that's going to be a big part because I think the whole thing with Bruce, pursuing like who killed his parents, and I think that's where it's leading. It's leading to the whole council thing. But no, like my problem with this show at first, like, was Commissioner Gordon. I couldn't buy him as the main. He's basically Batman in this. He is like the main hero in it. Which I bought it now. Like, I got used to him as that, and you have to get past that. I think that was a lot of people's problems that didn't like this show. They're like, we want Batman, but Batman's young. You can't have him right yet. He just basically this is more about before Batman. So it's kind of it's really cool once you get used to it. But this season I thought was a big step up from last season. I liked last season, but this season's on a whole new level. I think that one of the best things about this season was how they really the Penguin went, how they're doing his storyline, how he's turning into the Penguin. I really enjoy it. I thought the Riddler's cool, how he has like split personalities. Catwoman's getting, she's pretty good. I like Catwoman. Fish Mooney coming back was pretty cool. And now that she has this thing where she can touch you and basically tell you what to do and you have to follow her. I thought Hugo Strange was great. I like the whole thing with Indian Hills. Is that what it's called? With how
Indian Hills.
Yeah, that was like really cool how they're showing the different experiments. And at the end of this season finale, they showed you like different characters in a blur. You couldn't see them all. The only one you could see was like a duplicate of Bruce Wayne with long hair. That was pretty cool. But overall, it was pretty good. I guess the first thing to go with Gotham, the whole story with Penguin, basically with Pee Wee Herman being his dad. I don't know if a lot of you guys, I know Armored knows who Pee Wee Herman is. Frozen, maybe not Daniel, I'm not sure. But what do you guys think of that whole storyline with Penguin, having a father, and basically Hugo Strange turning him normal, I guess, or like kind of like a pushover, and then he learned after the death of his father, he turns back to how he was. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, I I enjoyed the Pee Wee and Herman actor. I mean, I know about Pee Wee Herman. I just didn't grow up watching him, but I am aware of him. But I enjoyed the storyline. I remember when they cast him to be Penguin's father and everything, and I thought that was pretty cool. It was predictable though, because you knew the family was going to turn on the dad and everything. It was pretty easy to see where that was going. But with well, where are we talking about with Penguin's story and everything
Yeah,
for this
this
season?
Penguin's
Yeah, I
basic
think he's talking
story.
about Penguin's story arc.
Yeah, Penguin, all the stuff
Okay.
that happened with Penguin, his character development this season, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, no, he definitely stepped up so much since season 1, of course. And then I think that was the best thing about it was seeing him in Arkham Asylum and seeing him break down. And I wouldn't say Doctor Strange, Hugo Strange, all that. That was really amazing how seeing him go through. I think he was the one who went through the ice cream test, or was it Riddler? It was one of them through ice cream test and
Yeah.
all that. That was really that was amazing stuff going on there. And then seeing him become sane, I guess if you call him sane at the time, which was really awesome. I like the actor who does it. He's a really good actor playing the Penguin. And seeing him go back to being insane, it doesn't ruin. I trust in where Bruno Heller and the team are going to take season 3. But I guess that means Butch is going to be with Penguin, or I don't know how they're going to work that out again. But
Well, didn't if my memory serves me correct, didn't Butch trade on Fish Mooney on the rooftop?
he turned on Fish Mooney.
Yeah, he took Penguin's side, so that's why when he seen Fish Mooney in the bus,
Yeah.
he flipped out and ran down the road. That was cool too. I like Butch.
I think that also deals with the fact that if you look, Penguin got controlled by Fish, which is Talon, and they were basically like, he thought the same thing was going to happen to him, if not worse.
Okay. No, but Butch this season, just so I don't forget, he did some really cool things with the minigun and the RPG when he shot Galavan. I thought that was really cool. Like I like Butch. I think he's pretty good in the show. But yeah, just is that all you got on Penguin?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Frozen, Penguin's pretty much character development in this season from, basically where he was in the beginning of the season to where he is now. Like how all the tests they put him through, and then they broke him down as a character, and then he basically went back to how he was.
I liked it, and I also liked the part where he helped the Riddler gain up there. He really changed the Riddler. Like, you remember how he was spending time with the Riddler, and the Riddler...
Yeah, he kind of helped the Riddler basically turn into what he is, too, in a way.
Yeah, in a short way, and I really enjoyed, how he was able to pull a team together. Like, where you see Galavan at the end, and then he just shows up, and then Butch blasts him with a rocket launcher out of nowhere. That was, probably the most unexpected thing I've seen in the show. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I like that. Armored, Penguin's character development, what happened with him this season?
I like Penguin. I like that they kind of merged two of the different story arcs with Penguin together, because both of them are like two of his. See, that's the thing I don't like about comics is every time there's a new writer, they always do the origin story again. They always change the story arc every time. So they merged two of the best story arcs for Penguin. I did like the fact that they showed his dad and how he kind of had his wealth and then lost it all over again, because that's kind of the reason why the Penguin became the Penguin, is because he was wealthy at one point of his life, and then he lost everything. So he was having to steal to get back his wealth because he wanted to live that higher lifestyle. So I definitely enjoyed where they were going with him.
And his mother died this season. That's another thing. His mother died this season, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that happened too. Because I forgot the mid-season finale. I forgot it got pushed off a little bit. How they do a break and everything. I mixed up with last season too. But yeah,
I overall enjoyed what they did with him and how they progressed him. I did like how they're showing the camaraderie with him and the Riddler, because in the comics, I would say them two are the only ones that really team up well together. So that was a good showing of doing that. and it kind of put that more emphasis on like the Riddler's story and how he's going to progress a lot based on like who he's with. Even though they're going completely off of the Riddler story arc 100%, but they're doing him really well. So like them two are, like, in my opinion, the best two characters that they have on the Gotham.
Yeah,
In all honesty, like they make the show
I'd say
in a lot of ways.
Yep, they make the show. If it wasn't for them, I don't think the show would be as good. I really don't. Anything else?
I mean, but it's as far as the Gordon thing, like Gordon was how badass he was in the comics before he even met Batman. So like to show Gordon as he was before he became like, you know, the Batman Gordon that we know, I think is a really good idea to go with. And it kind of shows like, because even in the comics he was the original guy that put the code on Bruce Wayne as a kid, and that's the reason why Bruce has always kind of looked at Gordon as like one of his father figures, because he was there throughout his childhood. So it's a good thing to show that.
Oh, okay. No, it's really good how they tell the whole story. Yeah, Penguin, I think Penguin, out of the Riddler and Penguin, I like them, you know, I think they're both phenomenal characters, but I like Penguin just a little bit more. I think Penguin, I just think they got the right dude to play Penguin and the right dude to play Riddler. But I just like, for some reason, I think Penguin he's funny, you know, just well done. You could tell the guy that plays Penguin, and I even heard him in interviews, like he loves playing the part of the Penguin. That's great that they got him to do it. And I
can't see him as any other character, in all honesty. He does Penguin way too well. I mean, he is what saved season 1, in all honesty, after the second half.
He looks like the Penguin, you know, and I like how he just kills people, and it's pretty cool. Like, he had that head of that woman that killed his father, poisoned his father. He's positioning her head as like a piece of furniture, and you know, like a knickknack or something in the house. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I love the whole thing with Penguin. They did a great job. Great person to play it. Going to the Riddler. His character development was phenomenal too. And I liked in the season finale how he's like Lucius Fox, I believe his name is, and Bruce Wayne is in that chamber of gas, and he's playing a game with them, like, you know, you would see like the Riddler and any other thing with Batman. Like he has Batman tied up, and he's doing something where he has to get out, and that's his typical thing with Batman in like the cartoons and stuff. Like he's always, you know, caught up somewhere with Robin, and he has to figure out a way to get out of this, you know, trap. If you ever watch the old Batman shows, that's how it was. And I like how Riddler did that. Like, Riddler's making them play a game, and if they get the right answer or whatever, he'll let them go. You know, stuff like that. What's your thoughts about Riddler Daniel, like, just in general, character development?
Oh, he did a fantastic job this season. The actor who plays him, really, really, really good. I think it's Michael Corey Smith or something like that. I enjoyed his character development, for sure. And then going to Arkham Asylum, and like even with Penguin, with that, his whole hate towards Jim was really an interesting take on it, especially that whole episode where it's Jim sitting in his apartment, and he kind of like he senses that Enigma hates Jim, or you know what's it called, framed him for Theo's death and all that, or not framed him. When he shocks the chair, like when he shocks and Jim's sitting in the chair and he ends up getting knocked out and all that, like that Riddler moments there were really awesome. I think this season is the season where Penguin was sitting down and I think it was this season where he has like that person tied up in the closet and he says like, do you want to kill him or something, or I brought you a gift. Stuff like that. Like Enigma's pretty damn crazy, and I remember in season 1 when I was really excited to see pieces of the Riddler, but this was Riddler. This season, like he finally, like maybe he doesn't have the suit yet, but he's full on insane now. So he good acting. I like the actor who does it. I can't like wherever I see him in any other TV show or movie like in the future, I'm always gonna see him as the Riddler. He'll always be him to me. But I thought it was kind of stupid though in a sort of way towards the end of the season when I think it was like the episode before the finale or something where he breaks out and he's on the top, and the guards find him because he was like loud and everything. That was kind of obvious, sort of a thing, but his hate towards he hates Jim obviously more, but the whole game show aspect of his voice when he was like, "Let's be ready to play life or death" and all that. He's perfect for that, and I'm glad that he's on the show. And again, like Penguin and Riddler are probably the two most people that really brought this show and saved it from season 1. So great character. Yeah.
What about you, Frozen, with the whole thing with Riddler and how they're developing his storyline and everything?
I really enjoyed like the pacing that they had with the Riddler. They didn't rush him in. I felt he was like they really took their time developing the Riddler. I like how Penguin played a role with the Riddler. Like Armin said, how they team up. That was really cool. I like how he framed Gordon. I thought that was kind of cool when like he didn't know he's probably one of the smartest people on the show. You know, I think that they can really do a lot of great things with him, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him in season 3.
All right. Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Armor, do you like the whole thing with the Riddler? How they're moving his storyline up? Basically his character development.
I said earlier that I think him and Penguin are the best. I like how he's moving his character story arc. I want to see more of him grow in season 3. And I mean, I think that throws me off, and it's not per se the Riddler or some off subject, is Barbara, because she is supposed to be Jim Gordon's wife.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of weird seeing her evil, because like in the comics you never even hear her be evil. So like she's a side character that is like an unknown character. Kind of like how in The Walking Dead you have what's the guy's name that everybody loves? Can't remember his name.
Rick?
No, not Rick. The guy that
Oh, Daryl?
yeah, Daryl. Kind of like Daryl. Like Daryl wasn't in the comics at all, but he's a side character, but he does so well. And Barbara's acting was very well done. Like she was, even though she didn't get a lot of time on this season, every time that she did get was very convincing. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering how they're going to use her story arc and convince her to go back good and become Jim's wife and everything, you know. That's another thing that, just a side note that I wanted to bring in.
Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of these characters are really it took them a little time. They didn't just throw these characters in there. They're building these characters up perfectly. Some of the what do you guys think of Catwoman? I enjoy her, but do you think they're doing good with her, Armored?
I like what they're doing with her. They're also showing that love connection that Batman kind of has a lot in the comics with Catwoman. So that's really interesting. They're showing that she has like a past with him even after, even before like he becomes Batman, which is interesting because you hear that in different iterations of Catwoman mentioned in the comics, but you never like really see that story arc. So I think that would be a very good thing to kind of see.
This is a little off topic, but did you ever see the old show called Birds of Prey where Batman had sex with Catwoman and had a kid?
Yeah, it's the same thing that he. Yeah, it's the same with what is it called? Batman and the League of Assassins woman. I can't remember her name offhand right now, but they have a kid, Damian Wayne.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about the girl, not this Ghul, the other one.
It's Ra's al Ghul's daughter, and I can't remember her name.
Talia.
The life of me. Talia, yeah. They have a kid, which if you watch The Son of Batman, you'll see that, and that's it has.
I think Armored cut out. But yeah, going to the whole thing with Catwoman, Daniel.
For her story arc for season 2?
Yeah, like I'm just talking about a little bit of the characters that are actually progressing pretty good in the show, like how they're building these characters up. But general thoughts about Catwoman, how she's coming along in the show.
I thought she was good this season. I wish we could see more of her and Poison Ivy a little bit, but I think my favorite thing about Selena Kyle this season was when her and Bruce really hanged
That was
out in
weird.
that sort of way where they bonded in the streets, or when they did that. When they basically hang down, like they were jumping up from rooftops, and that whole scene there where I don't remember what it was when they went into that room and they were trying to steal that money from those drug dealers, and like they all got high. The drug dealers got high or something. They took that pill, and then like the owner comes in, the main guy of the gang, and they like fought, and Bruce took the punches and everything. I thought that was really cool with Selena being there. So. I'm glad they didn't go the route with her. I really thought they were gonna do something either like I didn't think Hugo Strange was gonna manipulate Selena Kyle or whatever. But I'm glad like she didn't lose her way with Firefly, Bridget, her friend, like where she does become her servant or something, or her mind goes whack and she goes crazy, something like that. Because I really thought they were gonna do a storyline where she's gonna be like her mind's gonna be messed up in a sort of way where she won't be the same Selena Kyle that we know. So I'm glad that she did stick to saving Bruce and helping and all that stuff. I think she's a good actress, and I'm going to get to actually meet her in October at Comic-Con. So it's really cool. I mean, I think she is. I could see her as a young Catwoman, and maybe one day. I mean, I know we're not going to see her in costume, of course, obviously as Catwoman, but I think she fits perfect with the actor who plays Bruce Wayne. I do think that they would be a good couple in the show, maybe later on down the road.
Did you notice they changed
Can
her
y'all
hair?
hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. For some reason, Google knocked me out.
Did you notice they changed her hair too in the last 2 episodes of Gotham? I seen her hair was straight instead of like curly. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
for a new look with her or what's gonna go on, but I noticed that. No, but she's good. They do a good job with Catwoman. I'm very interested to see her relationship with Bruce, how that goes.
Right.
Farmer, did you have any more things on Catwoman before you got cut
They
off?
kind I was gonna say they kind of do have one of the iterations of Catwoman's costumes with her right now, because that jacket and the goggles and everything she uses is an
Yeah.
iteration of an older Catwoman model for the character. But I'm more interested to see her and Barbara Gordon, in all honesty, because like if you remember in season 1 how Barbara was telling her that the best way to get a man and get your way in the world is to show off like your assets, and manipulate, and that's something that Catwoman does really well. Is she uses her body to get into like high society areas and then like steal from them. So like it kind of looks like Barbara Gordon in the future seasons is going to be like a mentor to her in that aspect, and like she's already has the skills to be a great thief. So that would be an interesting way of showing her off and showing how her story arc works.
Okay. What about you, Frozen, with Catwoman?
I think they did a good job with her development. I like how they keep her relevant in the show.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of things with these characters. They keep characters relevant. They don't just leave them off to the side and let them get like lost. For like you usually see every character each episode. I don't think there was a time where you didn't really see anything unless it wasn't really that big.
The only one they're not using so much is Poison Ivy. They're not doing much with her. She's like
I
a
think she might end up playing a bigger role in the next season, maybe.
yeah.
I don't
bet
I
you
don't
they
think they
use her.
can use her just yet, because if they're going like the comics and everything, she doesn't get her abilities until like her mid-20s, and that's because of a chemical spill that happens with Batman.
Oh.
So like,
Okay.
how could you even use her? In all honesty, I mean, I granted I like how they're showing her, but I don't see how you can use her without like putting her abilities into play. In order to do that, she would have to have some form of a chemical spill.
Yeah, that's true. All right, man, you got a point there. Okay, so basically with Gotham, let's say some things we didn't like about. Well, one more character, big character of this show was Hugo Strange, and the whole thing he was doing at Indian Hill, Frozen. What do you like about Hugo Strange?
I like how he really acted. He didn't really show any fear, like when he brought people back to life. He did a really good job, especially when the Penguin was there.
Yeah, I thought the whole Arkham Asylum was just awesome. I thought that was
I
cool.
didn't think they were really going to go the Hugo Strange route, but I really think they did a great job with him as far as like putting him in there, and then like as his ending too as well.
Yep. Yep. Oh, and then don't forget they had the whole Mr. Freeze and Firefly fight. That was, and you actually said that to me before you saw the episode. You're like, I hope Mr. Freeze
That was cool.
Firefly fight, and I'm like, oh well. I'm thinking in my head that was awesome. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Well, and two, you got. Let's just do it like two on one topic. You had, or just in general, you had Firefly, you had Mr. Freeze. He was the beginning of this season, and he played out through the season with the whole thing with Nora. They stuck to that. That's basically Mr. Freeze's story. I thought the whole Mr. Freeze thing was cool. Hugo Strange, Firefly was pretty cool. But did you like all that Frozen? Like,
Yeah, I think they did a great job with the Mr. Freeze stuff. I like what they did before he became Mr. Freeze. They actually did a whole episode on him, and then they showed where he went, and then like how he grew, like afterwards. You seen what he became. He just didn't like go away and get lost, like another character I'm not gonna mention. But yeah.
what about you, Daniel? With all these characters we just mentioned, like, did you like all how they added them into season 2? Hugo Strange, Mr. Freeze, Firefly, even Galavan. Galavan was cool, and the one that played the Joker, or we might think might be the Joker.
Jerome.
Jerome.
Yeah, I loved all of them, especially Hugo Strange. Like I said, I think Hugo Strange is my favorite out of all, the way BD Wong plays him, and I just want a spin-off show just of Hugo Strange, just being, just, I don't know, yeah, just anything about Hugo Strange, but spin-off just him talking. I mean, I love the way he talks. It's amazing.
Yeah,
yeah, he makes me smile for some reason. Yeah, Mr. Freeze, his whole backstory, it was emotional, very emotional with his wife, of what she did.
Yeah.
Very, I was bawling my eyes out. Theo Galavan was pretty freaking amazing. Like, he was annoying at times in the beginning, but once he came back to life and as Rael and he became that, that's one of the things I didn't like, was probably him dying. That was sort of like, because you should have kept that actor somehow, some way or another, because he was pretty damn good at what he did.
I'm sure they had a lot of other villains that, especially by the end of the episode where they showed all them other, characters. I think that'd be maybe too much for the show, but it would have been.
If you noticed, there was a version of Killer Croc in there.
Yeah, I mean that was what was cool. So.
Yeah, I'm reading something, Dave. Was that going to be a separate topic? Because I got something to say about that stuff, about the villains at the end.
Well, let's. Is that all you got, Daniel?
Yeah, that's it.
Armored with the whole thing with Hugo Strange,
I like Hugo Strange because like they're going with his main story arc where he basically that's part of his story arc is he worked with the council and everything, and as he was working with the council he kind of became insane himself because like he started diving a lot into the psychological aspect of villains, and then he started getting obsessed over them and like wanting to see why they do what they do. And then when Batman came on the scene, he really was like really obsessed with Batman. So I'm kind of seeing how they want to do with his story arc on that. Freeze, the only thing that disappointed me with Freeze, because in Freeze's main story arc, what drives him to be who he is his wife, and his wife is actually in cryotube. So like killing off his wife was kind of a low blow because now he doesn't really have a drive, like he should. So that's the only thing that irritates me on that. But what they did was really well done. Is just what's his drive now? His drive in the comics was to find a way to save Nora, and he had to get money and stop everything else to like get Nora back alive and kill the disease. So that's the one thing that disappoints me. But I can see that with the council, they're doing that. I think it was called the Secret Army that the council had, and Talon was the main enforcer. So I can see all these little villains that they're bringing is going to be a really good aspect because they're going to show a lot of the White Lady next season, which I'm really interested in.
The whole thing with all the villains that got loose in the bus, and all that, and the council. What do you think the whole thing with Hugo Strange? Why is he making character, like different people have different abilities, and then what was the main agenda you think to the council?
In the comic, the main agenda for the council is to be able to get immortality, and this is because like they're fanatics of Savage. They're offshoot of fanatics of Savage, and Savage is able to give like his blood or whatever and give you extra years on your life. So the council is trying to find another way to give like extra years on your life and become immortal. So that's why they're doing the whole little thing about reanimation and everything, and that's what the White Lady is looking for. But she controls like the criminal underworld in Gotham, so they can't use Savage for some reason. I don't know why they haven't like tied that in with Savage. So they're going a different route with Hugo Strange as the person, and he was studying the whole thing. Like in the comic books, he was studying Savage's blood, all different types of stuff to try to figure it out. And he was testing like different formulas from Savage's blood onto dead bodies to try to reanimate them. So they're still kind of going in that same route, but they're just taking little different liberties from it.
Oh. Okay.
So maybe that's an offshoot of the formula that he's using that gives the characters abilities, because it kind of was the same thing in the comics. He gave certain characters different abilities, and they became meta. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, I definitely want to see more with the White Lady, because that's like the focus of the White Lady's whole thing is she wants to be immortal.
Oh, okay.
So I want to see if they want to do that.
Well, I mean, shit, I didn't know we really got into Gotham. I didn't know. See, I wanted to do all these in one cast, but I don't. I mean, we've been talking a while now. Just in general, let's give it a score and just your overall thoughts about Gotham, Daniel. Just overall, anything you didn't like about it, and just like a final, your piece on Gotham.
Yeah, a great season, but the finale definitely was disappointing for me. It had a few good moments, but I mean, come on, like stopping a bomb with water and stuff like that, and simple things like that. I mean, there are just very few problems throughout the season, but overall, I enjoyed all the character development, awesome, the directing amazing, the writing was really good. But it was like almost like Fargo season 2, which is on an FX show, of course. Fargo season 2 topped season 1, just like Gotham topped season 2. Gotham season 2 topped season 1, but the finale just kind of killed it in a sort of way where it's just kind of like.
Fargo. I never got through all season 1, but season 2 was phenomenal. I love it. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, what would you score Gotham if you had to give Gotham a score? Out of 1 to 10.
A 9 out of 10.
Okay, all right, I can respect that. Frozen, just ups and downs, lefts and rights, and a score for Gotham. Like what you did and didn't like, maybe, and just general finishing thoughts of Gotham.
Pretty good. I didn't really find much that I didn't like. I just didn't like that somehow I just got missing out on the show and just let it pile up and didn't get around to watching it as much. I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10. I really liked the finale on the villains that they teased at the end. I have an article here. It's not confirmed, but somebody's saying that Joker was laughing at the end. A Joker laugh. They're saying that Mad Hatter, Tweedle Brothers, Court of Owls, Bane, and Solomon Grundy are all going to be in season 3.
So the Joker is going to be in season 3?
Oh, they said that. I don't know. I got to rewatch it because they said there was a Joker laugh.
I didn't see that either.
No, it was a laugh.
I have to go back and listen to that because I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I didn't hear that
I'll put
either.
the article in the chat.
Yeah.
But what would you score? You said what would you score it?
9 out of 10.
Wait, they didn't have Killer Croc on that list? Because that was definitely a version of Killer Croc that I seen.
All I seen was it said Grundy, Court of Owls, Mad Hatter, Tweedle Brothers. Had a whole
I can
bunch
see
of
Grundy. I don't know about the Mad Hatter. I mean, Hugo Strange did play a part with the Mad Hatter in one of the comic series.
I know I seen what you call it. You actually seen what he looked like, but I don't know if they're gonna be doing Killer Croc, the Suicide Squad, right?
Well, no, because the new writer that does a lot of the DC comics has liberties to actually like do different innovations of the characters inside the movie series, but he can't use like their main names or anything.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do.
I put them in the chat, the 2 links.
Armored, your general thoughts of, like, final thoughts of Gotham and S4.
I liked the ending of season 2 of Gotham. I really wanted to see how they're going to do that because, like I said, with the council and the white lady and everything, she does have her little enforcers of the groups. One interesting thing I did see is they hinted at what's his name, Black Mass, because the Bruce and Catwoman, that guy that they were fighting, is a cousin of the Black Mask in the comic book series, and he's one of the lieutenants of the Black Mass. So I want to see if they may like hint towards him in the TV series. That would be really good too, because at one point he does become part of the council. So I'm interested on that. Overall, I mean, the story was really well done. I didn't see too much, like, there was a lot of inconsistencies from the comics from the TV show, but you kind of have to give that a given with a lot of these shows. So I mean, I give it a 9.
Okay, and my general thoughts of Gotham, I think it was a better season than 1. I loved what they did with the Penguin and Riddler. Like I said, I loved Hugo Strange. I loved all the experiments. I loved Firefly. I loved it. Period. There wasn't really nothing I didn't like. I think this show is stepping its game up. That's what I like about it. And if I had scored, it'd be a 9.5. You know, I definitely do think it deserved that. I'm hoping. I think next season's gonna be even better. I think, in my opinion, I think Gotham is a fantastic show. And at first, I didn't think that because it's hard for me to get into Commissioner Gordon as the main superhero. And then, 2, I had a problem. You know, the main character of Gotham, uh, Benjamin, I don't remember his last name, but he was in a show called The OC that I used to watch with my ex-girlfriend that she liked, and I seen him as that character. So that kind of was hard to get into too. But overall, love the show, love the characters, fantastic. I appreciate you guys for doing this podcast. It ran long enough. Thank you, Daniel Rodriguez, as always, for my co-host. Thank you, man.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Frozen, as always. Thank you, Armored Sentries, as always. And I will add Armored into the description. Everybody's channel will be in the description. Check them out. Shout out to them. Thank you for doing the podcast with me. Till next time, guys.